Good evening, I'm Linord Moudou. This is Africa 54. Anticipation is building in East Africa for U.S. President Barack Obama's visit to Kenya and Ethiopia later this week. Mr. Obama's first stop is Kenya, where improving security cooperation and trade links between the two countries will be high on the discussion agenda when President Obama and Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta meet. In addition to being a key Western ally in the battle against the spread of extremist terrorism, Kenya is also a major regional economic hub. Joining us now live from Nairobi with a preview of President Obama's historic visit to Kenya is Africa 54's own Vincent Makori. Hello, Vincent.
Hello, Linord. Indeed, it's a countdown to the arrival of the U.S. President Barack Obama in Kenya. For many of Kenyans, this is a homecoming of a son of the land. Security is high. At the University of Nairobi, we actually caught up with a professor and a few students who offered their views of the president's visit to Kenya.
We've had a lot of excitement, and I think we needed to have this kind of excitement because Obama has been the talk of the world ever since he took over leadership in the U.S. And he's visited Africa and never stepped into his fatherland. And now that he's found time to come and visit Kenya, the place where his father sprang from before he went to the U.S., there is a lot of excitement because Kenya regard Obama as their son. Well, there are some realistic and perhaps some unrealistic expectations. But I think there are some genuine things that America and Kenya need to partner together on. For example, the war on terror. Somalia is a breeding ground for terrorists. Those terrorists don't just hurt Kenya, but they could, in fact, if they breed enough, terrorize even the West and Western interests in other parts of the world. So terror as an issue and terrorism as a whole is a genuine case where we need a lot of collaboration, and America perhaps is the best experienced in this.
The president's visit to Kenya in particular boosts the confidence of investors in the nation. Then it makes the investors believe that there is something good in this nation. There is confidence in the leadership in the nation, unlike the issues that were raised, choices of consequences.
In the long run, they are good projects, but somehow it's sort of pretense. Why do we do things when the visitor is coming? We should always beautify the city with or without a visitor. So it's like we are wasting a lot of resources.
So, Vincent, it seems that the general sentiment is pretty positive and optimistic in terms of what the president's visit will give or bring to the country.
Indeed, high expectations for many. This is the first time ever a sitting American president is visiting Kenya. So that on itself gives it another meaning, but also being Barack Obama, people see him coming not just as the U.S. president, but also as one of them, as a brother. And therefore, they feel like he would be a little more passionate about some of the issues that are important to them. And therefore, they expect him to kind of address those issues in a kind of a different way than if it were someone else. And so the expectations are there. They're high, but as Professor Moudou said, some could be unrealistic.
And let's talk about what the government is really looking forward to accomplishing meeting with President Obama. President Kenyatta had on Tuesday a press briefing when he spoke about some of the priorities on the agenda. Tell us more about that.
Yes, President Kenyatta addressed the nation, and he said the priority will be the area of fighting terrorism. Counterterrorism is a basis for a major collaboration between the United States and Kenya, because terrorism has become one of the greatest threats to this country. And Kenya is hoping to benefit from the expertise, the power, the resources of the United States. And therefore, they're hoping that they will be having discussions that will help in the fight against terrorism. The president also highlighted that the discussion on business investment will be high on the agenda. They want to talk about areas in which the United States can help build Kenya economically, the investment areas where Kenya can benefit from America's investment, but also hoping to kind of persuade America to open up a little more to them. For instance, the president said they're looking to talk about opening direct links, flights between Kenya and the United States. This is key to the development of this country's economy, especially when you look at the fresh cut flowers, which now have to go the long route, Europe and then the United States. So they're hoping they can at least get to some place which can give hope to Kenyans opening that route, that direct kind of a link, flight from Kenya to the United States. Those are the priorities. The president of Kenya kind of ignored other areas where people kind of wanted to bring up some other issues, and so focused on those, counterterrorism and investment and business.
Absolutely, and these are very, very important issues. Now let's talk about, when you mentioned terrorism. Yeah. When we look at the issue of security, which is very, very important, given not only in general, given terrorism, but also the fact that President Obama will be visiting the country, what is being done to beef up security? What have you observed?
Well, you can say that it's nothing like anything that has been seen before. Security has been beefed up everywhere, particularly in Nairobi, but you can say all over the country. And they don't want any incident that will cause embarrassment to the authorities here, but of course they don't want anything that could happen and harm any of the visitors to the country. It's a time also, you know, when the Global Entrepreneurship Conference is happening, and therefore everything is being done to ensure that there's security in the city. And
about the summit, actually, President Obama will be taking part in this summit. Tell us about the significance of this event, and as far as why it's so critical for the president to be there, what it means for the Kenyan people.
Well, it means a lot. First, you have to pay attention to the fact that this is the first time this Global Entrepreneurship Conference is taking place in Kenya or in sub-Saharan Africa. And people are coming from all over the world, entrepreneurs, innovators, government officials, right here in Kenya. So that on its own is very significant, being the first country to host this event in sub-Saharan Africa. But also that President Obama will come here to address these entrepreneurs, young people mostly, is very significant because they hope to have these young fellows inspired and encouraged to continue, you know, on their path of entrepreneurship and innovation. But also,
Vincent, we have to leave it there. Unfortunately, we'll see more of you this week. Thank you so much for joining us today. And that was Africa 54's Vincent Makori reporting live from Nairobi. Be sure to join Africa 54 on Thursday when Vincent will have another live report from the Kenyan capital.